Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us. We are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want.
Where do you get the most up-to-date info? I can't we're not gonna do police officer celebration shit. Okay, we're not praising cops here. They're cowards. There is no easy solution here, because the United States is an evil country that gets exactly what it deserves because of the policies it chooses. This is not a tragedy. This is a expected result. All right? Tragedy went out of the window 20 years ago. Okay? This is an expected result. We understand all this stuff is predictable. It's just that simple. It's not surprising. It's not even especially shocking. This is stuff that is expected. And don't get me started, chat. We're gonna be honest about this stuff today. We're not sugarcoating it. We're not thoughts and prayersing it. We're gonna be honest today. And the truth is, this was expected. People are profiting from this. And most importantly, the cops ran away again. This is an underreported story in these mass shootings, is that in almost every mass shooting since Columbine, American police officers have run away from the active shooter and hid. In Columbine, the police simply surrounded the school and did not go in until after they killed themselves. I think they waited an hour. In Parkland, the police officer fled and hid. Uvalde shooting, police engaged the shooter briefly and then fled. They run away. We should know the names of every police officer who runs away. They should be humiliated. They should be kicked out of the force. No pension, no severance. They should be prosecuted for dereliction of duty, for abuse of the office. They should be shamed. You want to be praised? You want to be retire at 40 years old with a lifetime pension? You want to be called a hero when you're not a hero? Your life should be fucking ruined. They gave Dylan Roof fast food and treated him like a traumatized victim. They constantly do that. And the reason why that is because the police are not... The shooter gives up without a fight. That's the truth. The gun control thing, we're going to talk about it. It's not going to happen because the Democratic Party is a scum suck party of failures, okay? They don't fucking matter. But we know what we can do that's different and interesting. Talk about the cops that ran away again. This isn't the first time. I think, and this is something, I had a debate with a police officer. I can't remember what he streams now. He's a former police officer. And I told him, police run away. They're cowardly. They're there to beat up. You know why they tell you to be a peaceful protester? Because that's the only type of protester the police are not scared of. If you come out there with guns or you come out there ready to rumble, the police will run away. National Guard, please. From a tweet I saw, the school district for Robb Elementary has its own police department with 5 cops and a security guard. The city of Uvalde's police department received just under 40% of the entire city's budget for the year and got a $500,000 grant from the state. Neither stopped today's match. I mean, of course. The PowerPoint training they get to make them super soldier Marvel heroes encourage them to preserve their life above all others. Yeah, no fucking shit. As a teacher, I've looked into this shit to bar my door and maybe one of the backpacks with a vest. Like, holy shit. The reality is that it doesn't matter. Like, listen, if you're a teacher, you're no more at risk than any of us. That's the reality. Any of us. If I go to fucking Chipotle, I could get shot. I could go to a mall. I could go to a ball game. I could go to a concert. We've had mass shootings in all of them. A friend of mine's sister was killed in Vegas. You remember the vast shooting where the guy just had a AR-15 and just shot down out of his fucking hotel room into a crowd for fucking 20 minutes? There's really nothing. There's no safety. My wife was sobbing last night. We have a 3-year-old who starts school this coming September. Our 6-year-old's in 1st grade. Now she has to think about shit like this. But I gotta say, parents are not helping. Society isn't helping. Nobody is helping. They laugh at early childhood development staff. People cannot comprehend that this is the best opportunity we have as humans to program our children to understand and develop empathy. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the shooter, but it's just... I think one of the things that people don't understand is that a pistol round is different than a rifle round. When you think, oh, someone got shot, you kind of collapse getting shot down into one category of really bad injury. You got shot. The thing is, pistol rounds, even the biggest pistol rounds, typically do not cause the same level of physical trauma as a rifle round. A rifle round breaks the elastic threshold of your flesh. You know when you slap your ass or your cheek and you see that kind of like ripple of the flesh moving away? You know what I'm talking about? And then it springs back. Well, a rifle round hits your body, and then instead of, the flesh kind of rippling away, it explodes. It rips, it tears. A gigantic. And that's why the AR-15 is so effective at killing people. Let's keep watching this shit.
And is believed that responding officers killed him.
Now, we don't know.
Okay, we're gonna get the most up-to-date info. I can't we're not gonna do police officer celebration shit. Okay, we're not praising cops here. They're cowards.
Begin with heartbreaking news out of Texas, the scene of the latest mass shooting to plague our country. This time it was at an elementary school. 21 people, including 19 children, were murdered. And the gunman who opened fire at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde is also dead. There are a lot of details still unfolding at this hour. Our coverage begins with Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller live in our newsroom. Derek?
Well, Ken, police say the 18-year-old gunman first shot and killed his grandmother before walking into that elementary school with an AR-15 rifle and body armor and murdering little kids. Responding police officers shot and killed the suspected shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, but not before they say he committed the deadliest attack on an American school since Sandy Hook 10 years ago. Robb Elementary School is located in a heavily Hispanic community, Uvalde, Texas, west of San Antonio. Authorities are now using DNA to identify some of the 19 children murdered.
They have to use DNA because their bodies are so ripped apart by the semi-automatic rifle fire that your head and face no longer exists. The little t-shirt they were wearing is shredded and soaked with their viscera, blood, remains. So their parents can't identify their children from the many corpses. That's the fucking reality. I'm not going to play around with euphemisms today. I'm not in the mood. If that's too much for you, I understand. But there's too many people that talk in euphemistic baby language, and you could just put mass shooting in the safe category of thought.
2 teachers also died. And this morning, we're hearing from a parent who knew one of the teachers killed.
It was more than anybody else has ever poured into my child. And I've just never seen anyone quite so dedicated. I just know that something has to be done because this is not normal. And communities shouldn't have to deal with this. And children in school should not have to live through that.
Overnight, neighbors in Uvalde gathered for a vigil. Participants formed a large circle and said prayers for the victims. One woman in attendance actually helped children evacuate after the shooting. I can also tell you that in our area today, expect to hear from New Jersey Governor Murphy in Trenton, also New York Governor Kathy Hochul near Albany.
The thing is, we can treat, a pistol shot, obviously a very dangerous injury, but is much more likely to work and restore, you could do some sort of trauma. But these rifles are designed to shred the body so that it cannot be saved. We just don't have the technology. You're turning the body into a fucking pulp. There's nothing to treat.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams will also be at police headquarters in Lower Manhattan, also talking about how to make sure children are safe at school. Shirlene?
Derek, we are all...
You can't make them safe at school in America. You can't do it. It's impossible. What are you going to do? Give the teacher a gun and then they have an accident? What, the teacher gets into a scuffle and then shoots a kid because, I have a gun, they might take the gun away. You want to put millions of guns in the hands of millions of teachers? Some of those teachers are going to have mental health crises. Some of those teachers are going to be not great people. There's no way to do it. We should have gunfights in our elementary schools so that some dipshit can jerk his dick to a fantasy about stopping an intruder. Put a cop at the school. Pepe La.
Also very shattered by this. Thank you for that report. As it is so often and does after these tragedies, we ask what happens now.
Nothing! Nothing happens now until these politicians feel as unsafe as we do. Until the politicians feel as unsafe as we do, nothing is gonna change.
During his address, President Biden urged lawmakers to take action now to prevent the next mass shooting. Here's ABC's Ike Ejiochi.
Overnight, as a line of hearses waited to carry off the victims at Robb Elementary School, lawmakers in Washington confronted the ugly truth.
We are seeing way too many of these.
We have another Sandy Hook on our hands. What are we doing?
I would normally say in a moment like this, we would all say naturally that our hearts break, but our hearts keep getting broken.
The violence in Uvalde coming less than 2 weeks after 10 people were killed in Buffalo.
They can't even muster anger! Well, our hearts just keep getting broken. You can't even muster anger! Even performative anger! Nothing! These reptilians! All these MSM fucks go right back to playing defense for Senate norms, effectively neutering any actual change. People who say vote harder are just a different version of thoughts and prayers. Holy shit, Dan, that is right. Man, I can't. Basketball coach take for comparison. This is how they should act. I don't want tears and sadness. I'm sorry, chat, but if you're in a position of power, I don't want to see you crying. I want to see you doing shit. Winged appellation, I'm sorry. Durbin already saying they won't even try until after the break. Fucking loser party!
I'm not going to talk about basketball. Nothing's happened with our team in the last 6 hours. We're going to start the same way tonight. Any basketball questions don't matter. Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here. And a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California. And now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers?
Yes.
Because that's what it looks like.
What are you going to do about it?
It's what we do every week. So I'm fed up. I've had enough. We're going to play the game tonight. But I want every person here, every person listening to this, to think about your own child or grandchild or mother or father or sister, brother. How would you feel if this happened to you today? We can't get numb to this. We can't sit here and just read about it and go, well, let's have a moment of silence. Yeah, go Dubs, you know. Come on, Mavs, let's go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go play a basketball game. And 50 senators in Washington are going to hold us hostage. Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us, we are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want.
Thank you.
They won't vote on it because they want to hold on to their own power. It's pathetic. I've had enough.
The FBI reporting 212 mass shootings in the U.S. in the first 144 days of the year. But Uvalde marks the deadliest school shooting in nearly 10 years, reminding the nation of the Sandy Hook tragedy and the call to action that came a decade ago.
And we're going to have to come together and take meaningful action to prevent more tragedies like this.
Since Sandy Hook, Congress has tried and failed to pass gun control legislation. The House recently managed to pass bills that would expand the review period for gun buyers and require background checks for sales at gun shows. But those efforts are expected to be blocked by the Senate.
Our kids are living in fear every single time they set foot in the classroom because they think they're going to be next. What are we doing? Why do you spend all this time running for the United States Senate? Why do you go through all the hassle of getting this job, of putting yourself in a position of authority? If your answer is that as this slaughter increases, as our kids run for their lives, we do nothing.
Many Republicans say restricting weapons is not the answer.
That doesn't work. It's not effective. It doesn't prevent crime. We know what does prevent crime, which is going after felons and fugitives and those with serious mental illness, arresting them, prosecuting them when they try to illegally buy firearms.
With the issue of gun control.
What? They won't even allow them to have a digitized database. By the way, he's a lying sack of shit. They had a mass shooting at an elementary school in the UK. They did massive gun control that year. They haven't had a mass shooting in an elementary school or a school since. You fucking loser. You fucking fraud. This is Ted fucking Cruz.
A few things I enjoy more than on weekends cooking breakfast with the family. Of course, in Texas, we cook bacon a little differently than most folks.
This is the gun menu to control the children.
There's grease coming down. All right, let's see if we got some bacon. All right. Machine gun bacon.
And crispy, it's just the way I like it.
Remember, chat, we need a strong Republican Party. We need Henry Cuellar back in Congress, NRA endorsed. Remember, chat, gotta vote for the right in order for nothing to change. But Nancy Pelosi will get to be Speaker of the House. Huh? Huh? Nancy Pelosi will get to enrich her family. Isn't that all you need to know? What do you mean vote for a policy? What, do you want the Republicans to win? You have an obligation to like, comment, and subscribe.